السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي بنعمته تتم الصالحات. بحمد الله قمنا بتسجيل عدة فيديوهات لكل من يريد أن يحسن مستواه في اللغة الإنجليزية. فقمنا أول درس بمراجعة الأسماء اللي هي الناونز، وشفنا الناونز تقسم إلى جزئين رئيسيين اللي هي countable و uncountable. بالنسبة للcountable يكون فيها singular ويكون فيها plural، يعني المفرد والجمع. بالنسبة للuncountable هي اللي ما تتعد. الدرس الثاني كان حول البروناونس، وهي الضمائر اللي تعوض الأسماء. شفنا معظم الضمائر باستثناء بعض الضمائر ما شفناها يمكن في دروس لاحقة لأنها مرتبطة بجملة المركبة. بالنسبة للدرس الثالث كان حول الادجكتيفز وهي الصفات، والصفات مثل ما شفتوا شفنا موقعها وين تتمركز قبل الاسم أو بعد الاسم. كذلك شفنا المقارنة وتركيبة الصفات لما تكون عندنا في الكومباراتيف والسوبرلاتيف. الدرس الماضي دخلنا للverbs اللي هم نواة الجملة. فالverbs هي الأفعال، وشفنا التنسز، شفنا الباست أو البريزنت سيمبل. شفنا بس عين على البريزنت سيمبل حتى ناخذ فكرة على الفورمز وعلى قاعدة البريزنت سيمبل. اليوم إن شاء الله راح نحاول إنه نجمع 4 tenses في الباست اللي هما الباست simple، الباست continuous، الباست perfect، والباست perfect continuous. هذا من ال4 tenses، وراح نشوف نتعرف على الأفعال أكثر كل ما نحتاج إلى معرفتهم بشكل مبسط وسلس. شفنا في الدرس الماضي إنه الأفعال ممكن تقسيمها إلى قسمين اللي هم المين verbs الأفعال الرئيسية، والauxiliaries وإلا الhelping verbs الأفعال المساعدة. بالنسبة للpresent simple الأفعال المساعدة بسيطة اللي هي بس البي يكون am و is و are. وبالنسبة للمودل auxiliaries اللي شفناهم وراح نعاود نشوفهم إن شاء الله في هذا الدرس، لأنه المودل auxiliaries يكون فيهن مجموعة تستخدم في present simple مثل ما شفنا في الدرس الماضي، ومجموعة فيهم ممكن استخدامها بس في past simple. فنبدأ على بركة الله الدرس الجديد وهو الباست سيمبل. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. بالنسبة للباست سيمبل راح نبدأ مثل ما عودناكم ببعض الجمل البسيطة ونستخرج إن شاء الله منها القاعدة. فنبدأ. Here we have the first set of examples. Here we have I played chess yesterday. Here I played chess yesterday. He, she, it played chess yesterday. You, we, they played chess yesterday. So as you notice here, all the verbs, or here all the pronouns, here we add verb plus ed. This is the first set. The second set here, for example, I liked English. She, he, it liked ice cream. You, we, they liked, yes, here football. So here we have verb plus d, because we have the verb like and it ends in e, so we add just a d. So here let's take other sets of examples. Here we have I was busy. Here I was busy. I was busy. She was happy. You were students. So here, as you notice, there is an exception. Let's take another part or set here. I had a bike. She had a ball. You had a car. So here actually we have a first set or a first rule, general rule, which is soft and easy. We just add d or ed to the verb in order to get the past simple. However, as we saw in the two last here set of examples, there are exceptions. Unfortunately, in the past simple there are many exceptions, so they are grouped into a group which is called irregular verbs. So here the general rule here, regular verbs plus ed or d. Irregular verbs, we should learn them by heart. And there are many here tables which are called irregular verbs. We have three columns. Column number 1, which is the infinitive, that is V1. Here column number 2, which is the past simple, that is V2, and column number 3, which is the past participle, which is called V3. So you should learn them here in this way. For example, be, was, were, been. Be, was, were, been. Bring, brought, brought. Cat, cat, cat. Do, did, done. Draw, drew, drawn. Fly, flew, flown. Go, went, gone. And have, had, had. And the list is longer here, but in order to make it easier for you here, we try here to group here the verbs that have the same changes together. For example, here we have a set of verbs like cat, do not change. Here cat, cat, cat. So there are here few verbs that have the same characteristics, that they do not change here neither in the past simple nor in the past participle. Like cat, cat, cat. Cost, cost, cost. Let, let, let. Put, put, put. And finally hit, hit, hit. Good. Here we grouped other here verbs together, such as this set here. We have awake, awoke, awoken. Break, broke, broken. Choose, chose, chosen. Forget, forgot, forgotten. Forgive, forgave, forgiven. And speak, spoke, spoken. Good. Also we can group other here verbs together, such as here bring, brought, brought. Buy, bought, bought. Catch, caught, caught. Fight, fought, fought. Seek, sought, sought. Teach, taught, taught. Think, thought, thought. Good. So here these are irregular verbs. In order to learn when to use here the past simple, here I put two uses here, which are here a finished action or event. Then we have a regular action or event in the past. That is, we were accustomed to do something regularly, so we can use here adverbs of frequency and plus the verb in the past. That is a regular here action or event in the past. Concerning time expressions of the past simple, here we have yesterday, last week, last night, 3 weeks ago, in 2009, that is exact here date, in April 2019, etc. So this is here the general rule, that is we have regular verbs and irregular verbs. And concerning irregular verbs, here we have here a table that we should learn it by heart. So let's move on to the three forms, that is the affirmative or the negative form or the interrogative form. Here we should apply the rule if we have an auxiliary, either be, that is was or were, or the modal auxiliaries as we have seen it previously. We have the first column, can, may, will, shall, and must. Actually, these are used in the present simple or the present tense. Concerning the second column is used in the past simple. So here can, here could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, and must, ought to. If we have here an auxiliary, we should apply here this rule here in the affirmative, that is we have subject plus an auxiliary. In the negation, we just here insert the not after the auxiliary. For example, can, cannot, or can't, as we have seen previously. Concerning here the interrogative, here we just invert the auxiliary with the subject in order to get a yes/no question. And here, if we don't have an auxiliary, that is we have a main verb, we should apply the second rule. Here we have a subject plus verb plus tense. Here the tense is the past simple. So in the negative form, here we should bring do plus tense, which is the past simple. So do in the past simple here is what? Did. Good. So we say subject plus do plus t, that is did. Then we insert the not plus verb without tense, that is the verb without tense, v1, that is the bare infinitive. And in the interrogative, here we bring the do and it takes the tense, that is the past simple, it becomes did. So we invert it with the subject. So did plus the subject plus the verb without tense, that is the verb remains in the bare infinitive because the tense is transmitted to the do. Good. Now here let's have an example. We have she played chess with me yesterday. She did not play chess with me yesterday. As you note here, we have play is the main verb plus ed. So in the negation, we can't insert the not after the main verb, so we bring the do plus the tense. It becomes did. Did not, and the verb play without the tense, that is play chess with me yesterday. In the interrogative, we just invert here the do plus tense, which is the past simple. So did she play chess with me yesterday? And now let's move on to the past simple continuous. In this section, we are going first to induce the rule, that is we are going to study the rule first, then we are going to here study some examples. Here we have the rule of the past continuous. Here we have was or were, that is be in the past simple, plus verb plus ing. Concerning the second part, verb plus ing, we have play, playing, write, writing. As the verb ends in e, we should omit it and here add ing. Concerning like, here we can't say liking. Why? Because here like is considered as stative verbs. Here stative verbs can't be used in continuous tense. Stative verbs versus what? Dynamic verbs or active verbs. So here we have another two here groups, either stative or dynamic or active verbs. Here active verbs can be used in continuous tenses such as the past continuous. However, stative verbs can't be used in the continuous tense. So we should learn more about stative verbs. So here we have verbs of feelings. Here verbs of feelings such as feel, hate, like, dislike, love, prefer, want, need, care, and mind. Also we have another here set which is verbs of thoughts or opinion. Here such as think, understand, know, believe, guess, remember, forget, realize, mean, suppose, doubt, and agree. Also we have a third set which is about verbs of senses such as here we have smell, look, touch, taste, hear, feel, see, and sound. Other verbs such as here verbs of here measurements or belong. Here we have belong, own, have, verbs of possessions, or cost, here measure, weigh. These are verbs of measurements, seem, appear, owe, and be. Good. So here these are stative verbs that can't be used in continuous tenses. However, there is a note here. Some of these verbs here can be used as action or dynamic verbs, so they accept continuous tenses here in some here circumstances. Concerning the uses of the past continuous, here we have interrupted action, that is we have a continuous action in the past and it is interrupted by another action, so this interruption should be in the past simple. We have an example. Here we have this is the present and what becomes before the present of course here the past, so we have a longer action which is was playing, for example, and the interruption by broke. For example, Karim was playing football when he broke the vase. Here we can also use the past continuous when we have parallel actions. For example, was writing, was watching. For example, I was watching TV and my mom was writing an email or a letter. Of course, we in the past continuous always we have an auxiliary, so we can apply the first rule, that is the subject plus auxiliary plus the complement. Here in the negation just we insert the not after the auxiliary, that is was here after was or were, or we can here invert the subject and the auxiliary in the here interrogative. For example, we have she was watching TV when I entered the negation. She was not watching TV when I entered, and in the interrogation here, was she watching TV when I entered? Good. This is the past continuous. I hope that it was easy. Now let's move on to the past perfect. So let's have a look here at the rule. We have had plus past participle. Of course, here the past participle, if we have a regular verb, we just add to the verb ed or d. So the same as the past simple. And the past participle for irregular verbs is the third column, as we have seen previously with the table of irregular verbs. Actually, here had is an auxiliary, and here we have the past participle is the V3, that is the past participle of the main verb. So had is a helping verb. So had is an auxiliary, and if we have an auxiliary, the rule is simple concerning here the negative form and the interrogative form. So we should here just insert the not after the had, and here invert the had with the subject in order to get here the interrogative. Concerning the uses of this here tense, that is the past perfect, here I focused on this use here when we have a completed action before another action in the past. Here, if you look at the timeline here, this is the timeline. We have, this is the present, that is now. Here we have two actions in the past. Here the past simple and the past perfect. Here what here comes first is the past perfect, then here the past simple. Good. So the example here, she had done her homework before she had dinner. Good. If we want to apply the rule, as I said before, here just in the affirmative we have she had playing chess with me before we went to the cinema. The negative form, we just insert not after had, so the sentence in the negation becomes here, she had not played chess with me before we went to the cinema. And in the interrogative, just we here invert the auxiliary with the subject, so the question becomes had she played chess with me before we went to the cinema. So here the past perfect. Concerning the past perfect continuous, here the rule is had plus been, which is the past participle of the verb be, plus verb plus ing. Verb plus ing is here the present participle. It is called also the present participle. So here we have when we have, this is the timeline, as you see here we have now. Here the uses, here one of the uses here, it expresses a past action that started and continued until another finished action. So here we have two actions, such as in the past perfect, but here the emphasis on the first action, which took a longer here duration, the emphasis on the time. For example, here she had been working for 5 hours when her computer crashed. So here the another use here when it expresses a cause of something. Here she was tired because, here she was tired because she or he had been playing football. Of course, here we have had is an auxiliary. Had is an auxiliary, so it accepts the not when we have negation, and accepts the inversion with the auxiliary with the subject when we have an interrogative or a question. For example, here in the affirmative, here, she had been playing chess with me for an hour before we went to the cinema. The negation, here, she had not been playing chess with me for an hour before we went to the cinema. The interrogation, had she been playing chess with me for an hour before we went to the cinema? And here we finish it. Here the four tenses of the past, which are here the past simple, the past continuous, the past perfect, and the past perfect continuous. I hope that these tenses were clear enough for you, and the difference here in uses between them. الحمد لله يعني تم تسجيل هذا الدرس حول الأربعة هي أوقات في الماضي، وإن شاء الله يكون يعني واضح الفرق بيناتهم، وإن شاء الله يعني تكونوا استفدتوا. أهم شيء إنكم تحاولوا تثبتوا المعلومات اللي عندكم بالمراجعة وبالتمرينات، وبهذه الطريقة إن شاء الله كل مرة مستواكم يتحسن من حسن إلى أحسن بإذن الله. في ختام هذا الدرس نستودعكم الله الذي لا تضيع ودائعه، وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك، نستغفرك ونتوب إليك، نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. دمتم في حفظ الله ورعايته.